What's up, guys? I happen to have a new deck for you. It is a Crobat deck because I got a bunch of Crobats in that opening, well, one of my openings or whatever, and I was like, I'm gonna do something with that. Now, this is the version of the deck that for some reason doesn't run lasers and runs Giratina. I have found in like 19 out of 20 games, Giratina was complete dead weight to me, so I'm definitely going to switch that out for lasers and then add Tornaduses to this deck, because that just seems like a way more efficient machine. But I got 3 matches for you guys today. They were alright matches, which is why I saved them. I originally had 5, but I was like, let's take it down a little bit, make it a little bit of a shorter video. Plus, the new power supply I have in my computer makes it so it's kind of loud when I'm live recording, so I don't know whether or not I'm going to do that anymore, but if I do decide to do that, you'll hear something in the background, more than likely. Anyway, that's a different story for a different time. So, he's more than likely going to Skylar right here for a Juniper. A victory piece. Okay, so that actually lets him knock me out on the first turn. I would have done it for Juniper because now he's completely stuck without a hand, whereas I could just Skyla for a supporter on the next turn. Y'all know how that works, but he just decides to turbo energize instead of knock me out, which is actually kind of nice. I'm a big fan of that because it means I get to keep my Zubat. I decided to switch out to my Giratina just to let it take hits. I'm honestly not really expecting anything from it. And right here, I believe I'm going to end my turn because if he draws into an N or something like that, blah, 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 whatever, you get the drill there. So, turns out I top decked the rare candy, which was my main reason for hanging on to Skyla, and then it turns out, oh, shit, okay. I do get to switch out right here, which is awesome, and then I get to Skyla for I'm definitely going to get a Juniper because I have no use for that Ultra Ball. But I get to go for the Ultra Toxic Fang, which is going to do 40, and with a Veer Bank, does 60 in between turns, because Ultra Toxic changes the poison damage between turns from 1 to 4, Veer Bank adding 2. So you're at 40 base damage and then 60 in between turns. He doesn't have any energy to be able to retreat that active Victini. So I just kind of knocked it out in like one shot. I mean, he can turbo energize right here. I think he's going to end up doing that. So he puts 1 on Victini. And then he puts 2 on Victini. He puts a fire on Victini to be able to turbo energize. And then he puts a dark on it to be able to free treat with Darkrai. So right here, I'm looking all right. I got the prize lead. I can go ahead and Ultra Ball and get rid of the Golbat and the Skyla, I guess, in order to get myself a Zubat. And then I think I'm going to Juniper away that. I think I run 1 Super Rod, so I'm not too worried about running out of Golbats. And yeah, it's not that big a deal. But I catch her in that Victini, and I'm going to go ahead and attach. And what did I do there? What did I do there? Oh, I super rotted. I super rotted to put the 1 Golbat in, which was kind of silly to do that early, but I honestly there was like another Psychic Energy in there or something. But he max potions off of the Victini and then just opts to Night Spear, which was an okay play too. Let me see what I can do here. So I'm going to Night Sight. Night Sight is cool because you just get to draw an extra card for the turn. And now he's completely out of energy on that thing. I'm still kind of, I don't know what I was doing investing energy on that Zubat when there was a pretty strong chance it could get knocked out. But at the same time, yeah, he just doesn't do anything with that. So Skyla and a catcher. And on top of that, I get to Skyla for a rare candy right now just to get a second Crobat up. It's not looking too bad, just especially because I can go ahead and Night Sight twice to draw 2 cards, potentially get myself another Psychic Energy, and if I do get another Psychic Energy, then hey, it's great because I now have 2 Crobats completely set up. Otherwise, right now, I can just, what am I doing right here? I had the 1 Tornadus in my deck for the time being. I don't think I have any more Zubats, so I decided to get it, even though I probably won't be doing anything with it. But let me see. Ultra Toxic Fang, gonna do 20 because of the Psychic Resistance, and then it's gonna do 60, so he's got 80. Next turn will be 140, and then if he doesn't put a Pokemon down, he will die at the beginning of his next turn, which is not too bad. So I promote this one. I know it can take 1 more Night Spear, unless he's got a Laser, and yeah, unless he's either got a Laser or a Dark Claw, I'm in good shape. And then it turns out right here, he still doesn't have any Pokemon to be able to do anything. So I don't know why I was stalling so long. I feel like a dick for having done this, but I was like, oh shit. Didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Just Ultra Toxic Fang just ends up dying at the end of the turn. Would have died at the end of the turn anyway. I did not mean to be flashy. I just wasn't paying attention to prizes or whatever. I don't know. I had an alibi. I swear. Anyway, that was the end of the first game. Because he opted to Skyla for the victory piece in order to try to go fast, but sometimes going fast is going way too fast. And I think this guy was playing me with flips. So this guy definitely watches the top cut, definitely watches Puka. I was like, okay, that's cool. I don't like when I lead off with Giratina either. It's bulky, you have to waste a switch on it, which is the only reason I run switches in this deck. So I could definitely afford to take out Giratinas for other stuff. But at the same time, there's a Siglif on the field. If I had gone first, I would have had, the advantage here because I would have gotten 3 energies before him, and I would have been able to knock him out immediately. But because he goes first, if he does get 3 attaches in a row, he will be able to do some damage. He will be able to 2-shot me before I can 1-shot him. So that's the thing. He's got a Mewtwo as well. No way for me to inflict any status conditions on it, so I'm running a really stupid version of Crobat. That's okay. And he decides to get himself a Gothita. I don't know if this is flips. I feel like it is, just because he's got the Emolga in there too, which is kind of silly. And then he just ends me out, so it's like, okay, great. That hand was actually really bad. So he's going to go into Mewtwo, slap down a Victini, a Fliptini, and then he's just going to hit me for 40. So not that big a deal. I'm going to put down a Veerbank, and then what am I doing? Yeah, putting down the Veerbank, putting down a Zubat, putting DCE on said Zubat, and I get to computer search out both of my PCOMs for... I'm thinking about a supporter to get. I don't really want to discard that rare candy, so I just decided to get an N. I mean, it replenishes his hand by a little bit, but hey. This isn't too bad right here because I can slowly get this Crobat set up in the background. But I'm going to Ultra Ball away Is that really the wisest thing to do past me? I don't know what I'm doing here. So I guess I'm just getting another Zubat in case he knocks it out. That works too. I hate that I'm more... Oh, you know what? I was looking for something else to attach the DCE to because I didn't want to have to discard it. I can always Super Rod back in Crobat, but I cannot Super Rod back in DCE. Go me. That was good thinking. I don't know what past me decided to do with some of this, but I guess this is alright too. Gets 2 Fliptinis in play in case I try to knock out the first one. A Colress. Top decking a Colress here, right here would be fantastic. I kept telling myself that. But I'm pretty set on not attaching any energy to that Giratina. So I'm going to make him be that guy that puts 3 energy on the Mewtwo that early in the game. So he hits another attach, and he puts down a plus power, which is like, holy shit, he is ready to go. But I get down the Crobat finally, and I get to put an energy on that, go for a Night Sight, and then it turns out I don't get anything. So I'm going to Skyla and just get myself a switch. I know I'm putting myself in an immediate amount of danger, but unless he wants to lose his Mewtwo, he's not going to attack. So is 1 prize on me worth 2 prizes to him? It really should be, because I don't have anything beyond this, but he doesn't have any energy committed on the field after this, I don't think either. The difference is it's only taken him 2 turns to get all that set up. I've used up a lot more resources to get Crobat set up, and I honestly thought that was going to be a straight knockout. I was like, okay, there's going to be weakness in there, there's going to be some poison. It's not a straight knockout. You get kind of close, but not really. You need 30 more damage, and then you can come in with a Crobat, which is, I guess, why Tornadus is so nice in this deck, because everything else uses that. And he plus powers, realizing that X-Ball is going to fall short because I happen to not be weak to Psychic. I'm weak to Dark. And yeah, so he knocks me out, but I do take 2 prizes from that. And I top deck a Skyla, so I can definitely do something with that. I have a lot of Psychic energy, so what I'm going to do right here is Ultra Ball 2 of those to get myself a Crobat, and then I can also, I believe, Skyla for a either rare candy or a supporter. Either or would be great at this point. So I'm just going to do that. I know that Gothitelle attacks with Doom Decree and nothing else. So it's fine. If he wants to go for black magic, he needs another energy, I believe. He needs a colorless. Or a double colorless. So black magic will do 20, 40, 60, 80. Wait, 40, 60, 80, 100. So I still can't attack yet, but I know the reason he has Victory Star and all that stuff is Doom Decree. If he flips 2 heads with his first attack, the opposing Pokemon is knocked out regardless. So it all depends on how lucky he's going to get. It's kind of like that deck I run with the Sharpedo that relies fairly heavily on coin flips. So Chansey also has continuous tumble going on where you flip until you get tails, just 30 damage for each heads. Also uses DCE. It's not too bad. So I'm going to catcher it in just to stall for a little bit of time and end my turn. And I'm going to see if he wants to drop a DCE or he has a switch for that Chansey. If he does, that could end up being sort of bad, but I get the feeling he's going to want to build up the Gothitelle first. So I draw into my Tornadus, but like I said, still don't have lasers in this deck for some stupid reason. And I realize that I can drop the DCE on the Tornadus or I can drop it on the Crobat, and I also have a catcher. So I decide I'm going to do that. I'm going to catcher in the Gothitelle, and that's a knockout because it happens to be weak to Psychic. So all his energy is off the field. We're looking all right, folks. He doesn't have anything to attack with to coin flip with. And I also have a catcher so I can be able to pick off the other one immediately as well. So he sets down, what did he set down? A Mewtwo? Was that a Mewtwo? I think that was a Mewtwo. So he's getting ready. He's whipping out the big guns here. I could get the Mewtwo, but odds are he probably has a DCE. So I think I opt to go for the Gothitelle instead because it kind of just wastes everything else on the bench. That and he just put an experience share on it, so it's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm going for the Mewtwo. I guess that kind of makes sense, though, because, like, it doesn't have any energy on it. It won't have any energy to share. That's cool. Almost forgot the Night Sight there. Then it turns out I can just N out. I mean, I'll get myself some new cards. Anything to power up that thing on the bench. So, Ultra Toxic Fangs here for 80. And now I force him to have a DCE. Otherwise, it's going to die. Or unless he has a switch to get out of there. I don't know if that's something that's an option to him at the moment, but he puts down a Sky Arrow, so Veer Bank no longer makes it do 60, but thanks to Ultra Toxic, it still does 40, so I think I still do get the knockout at the end of the turn. If he had put that down a turn sooner, it would have put him in a lot better of a position where he might have had an extra turn, but it turns out he does have a switch anyway. I was just fucking with y'all, and I think he's computer searching for a DCE. Is he? Or a supporter? I don't know. Okay, so he maybe might have got the DCE with that. But now he has to flip until he gets tails. And he gets tails twice in a row. So it's like, well, I hope that was worth it. Because it probably wasn't. Right here, I top deck my Crobat. Beautiful, beautiful. And now I attach the DCE on the turn prior. So I actually have 2 Crobats ready to go. This deck is not super self-sufficient, but it works really, really good. So I get to Ultra Toxic Fangs right here, get the Veer Bank back in play. 40 base damage with 60 after turns, you know, puts it at the even 100. And then right here, I can just Skyla for the catcher if I have one and knock out the Mewtwo for the game. So we're getting to be near the end of this one. I'm looking to see what all he has on this. He has no energy on the field right now. So Crobat kind of got the drop on him. But he promotes his Victini. I'm not 100% why. Just because he maybe wants to get something else set up in the background. That's cool. I decide to Skyla my catcher and then just knock out the Mewtwo because it had lots of damage on it. Anyway, so Ultra Toxic. No frills on this victory. Just, that's it. EX knockout. Y'all know how that works. Know how I be. So, there's the end of the second game. Is this third game choosing not to show up? It really is. I thought they would have fixed this in Vegas 12. I will be right back. Okay, that's much better. So, got a third game. I honestly don't remember what happened in this one because I went to go on Tumblr for a little bit. I get distracted on the internet easily. I'm sure you guys do too. I'm calling out people that might be in other tabs right now. Better come watch this game. It's not really anything fantastic, but I know you're doing it. So, I see a Keldeo right off the bat. I'm thinking this is either Blastoise, this is either Darkrai, or this is probably Klinklang. Now, the fact I see a laser, the first one and the third one don't really run laser. I mean, they could, but you'd have to take out other stuff. So, I'm kind of thinking this is going to be Darkrai / Big Basics. That was another possibility that just slid into my mind the instant he puts down the Landorus. And it turns out he just ends me out. So, that's actually kind of cool. I don't really mind that. And if I draw a Pokemon right now, I can Rare Candy right into Crobat. Get that shit going. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Okay, I guess I just decided to save that for later. Oh my god, I should have done that. And okay, I guess I was just worried about losing it so soon. Okay, that was a really obvious play. I know what you're thinking. I don't know why I'm deciding to X-Ball. Probably because I don't really see him getting anything going on the bench either. I mean, he could get a switch and then Fighting Energy and then just take out my Zubat on the bench. Oh my lord, I'm sorry. This is my first allergy season in Washington, so I didn't know when it was going to hit me, and it just finally came a little late and decided to hit me today. Ah, shit. Okay, so he has the Fighting Energy and or did he Energy Search? No, he's just going to use the Scramble Switch, and then that'll actually knock out a Zubat on my bench, but it means I get to do 60 to this Landorus just because he's got an energy attached. And that sucks because I lose that Zubat. This means that I got to get that other one set up pretty quickly. Which, fortunately for me, I happen to top deck a Skyla. So, is that quick enough for you? That's good enough for me. So, I get to do that. I'm going to put a DCE Onyx. I don't want to be that guy and drop 3 energy on a Mewtwo before I need to. So, I'm just going to go ahead and X-Ball right here for 60. That is exactly the damage I need. It's not exactly the damage, now that I think about it. I need a little bit more damage in order to be able to knock it out with, Shit. Ultra Toxic. There you go. I need 20 more, I believe. So if I had lasers going on in this deck and I pulled one of those, I could have done that too. But this man's also running Sableye in this deck too. So I think he's running Darkrai. It's interesting to see this. I've never seen this combination before. I've seen Keldeo and Sableye and Darkrai, but I've rarely seen Landorus in there. And it turns out he ends up Colressing for 3, which I found absolutely hilarious. Right here, I don't really care if I'm asleep. There's no Veerbank in play yet, so I'm going to Night Sight first because I do plan on ending, I believe, but set down the Veerbank. I don't really want to end, I guess, but it will get him less cards ultimately. So, get to do that. Get to put down Giratina, get to Pecom Giratina and go for another Pokemon of my choice. If he stays in here to try to attack my Zubat, this is going to be pretty important because, he won't knock out anything and he'll just end up getting knocked out himself. So, drops a Mewtwo and a DCE. That's honestly going to be fine if he wants to get knocked out by this. But the play I'm seeing right here is if he can put down if he can Dark Patch an energy onto Keldeo, rush in, get a Darkrai in play somehow, he can rush retreat back into Landorus. I'm thinking this is the play he's going to end up going for. Or, you know what? Didn't he attach a DCE that turn? So, he'd have to have a switch. So, he does get that off for free, essentially, but I can just Ultra Toxic on this turn. So, I hope it was worth it, buddy, because yeah, whatever. Get to drop another energy on that Mewtwo, but I'm just going to Night Sight for now, and then I actually get a Skyla. But for now, I'm going to Catcher that in. I believe Skyla for I feel like a Juniper would be alright here. A Juniper or a Colress. Oh, no, there's only 5 in play, so Juniper was probably the better of the two. And now I put a third down because I'm not seeing another Mewtwo in play. That's fine if I get revenged, I guess. I saw a Mewtwo, and I was like, let's just go for it. Why the hell not? The Landorus isn't going to be a big threat. It's going to knock out my Zubat on this turn anyways. So maybe I could have held off on that Mewtwo play. I guess I just got a little greedy. But turns out this is a Darkrai variant. Whatever. You guys know how that works. I think if he really wants to, he can Hammerhead right here, but I will knock it out at the end of the turn. And then he just Bianca's for, what was that, 2? 2. Sorry, my stomach's really distracting me. I don't know if I'm, like, hungry or if it just hurts. He freaking Ultra Balled away a Ho-Oh earlier, so I was like, where the shit did that come from? Yeah, he had one. I guess this is a Ho-Oh deck. Wasn't really expecting that. It's a really weird Ho-Oh variant, but he gets an extra prize for that. I get to... There's not really anything I want to do here, and then I just draw into another end, so I'm like, well, shit. Okay. I know I'm going to knock out that Landorus at the end of the turn, which is why I decided to end now. Get to drop a Mewtwo and a Psychic Energy on said Mewtwo just in case he comes in with his own Mewtwo and wants to do the thing. But X-Ball is going to knock him out, so that's alright. What can I do here, though? I could... So I get Tornadus and Rare Candy. Can't do shit with that. That's okay. If I drop another energy on Mewtwo, I can get the knockout on Sableye, or I could just switch out into Crobat and then do that myself. But he ends me out into 2 prizes, one of them being an Ultra Ball and one of them being a Crobat. That's alright too, I guess. He Dark Patches. Oh my god. Excuse me, I know this sounds like a really low quality narration, but... Oh my god, why can I not... I can't focus. Like, I really needed that stretch. You know when you just feel a stretch coming, but it's not worth it yet? So I kind of put it off until you, like, absolutely, like, really want it. That was what happened right there. That was nice. Right here, I believe I'm going to... If I drop that DCE on that Mewtwo, I can retreat and then knock it out with Crobat. I feel like... Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's what I'm doing. Not the ideal play, I guess. Or maybe it is. I really don't know. I knock out a Sableye and prevent him from doing junk hunting shenanigans. And he's only got 1 card in his hand, too. So that's alright. Odds of it being an energy / something that will get him an energy, kind of low. So, kind of fell back on that. And he just decides to Juniper away the Darkrai, which I don't understand why that happened, but... Alright, I'm also realizing that my Crobat is in knockout range, I believe, from... Oh, wait, I just remembered something I said in this narration earlier about Crobat, about him needing a Dark Claw or whatever. I thought I was at I thought I had 140 max HP. Turns out I've only got 130. Okay, that's good to know. Right here, what am I doing? What am I doing? Putting the energy on Mewtwo, and I guess I'm just going to... I could Ultra Ball some stuff. I honestly don't know what I'm doing with this. What would I even possibly get? I guess a Tornadus? Okay, that kind of works too for some 60 damage if I still have a DCE left. And he just scoops right there. I don't understand why that happened. I feel like he could have had that game eventually, but oh, you know what? I had that other Mewtwo on the bench, so that would have knocked him out. Okay, that's cool. But that was all 3 Crobat games I had backed up. I'll definitely be taking a little bit more with this deck in the future, / building some other ones. The one I am looking to make next, although it's really not that good, I do want to make a Tornadus Ho-Oh Aspertia Gem. Aspertia Jam. No, Aspertia Gym with Buffalant. So I know that's kind of like a Dragon's Exalted kind of thing, but it could be fun with possibly lasers and stuff, because Ho-Oh needs some help cleaning up. Anyways, that is a video, I guess. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you're more than welcome. Leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe, and do your thing. And I will see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.